Junior Taurus, Shabuzet Khotmani.
As well, I'm from
I'm easy. Ishari on the technical difficulty number 1, man.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's happening, bro? Sharp.
Yeah, not too much, my boy. Not too much.
Very difficult man to find.
Not. I'm very easy to find, though. You found me. You know what I mean? You found me, boy.
Yeah. Quick intro, man. As always, for anyone who just bumped into the flyer, is not really too sure who Junior is. Just a quick breakdown. Who are you? What do you do?
That question, that it's always difficult to answer that question because you can't exactly put yourself in one category. You're going to say I'm a DJ producer. Everybody will say DJ producer, but I guess because the interview is about Junior Taurus, so I'll say I'm a producer now. I'm a music producer from Victoria. As
people in the game, production and DJing has always gone together, don't you think?
No, there's a lot of DJs that are not producers. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, when you are a producer, the only way you can really generate money is to be a DJ. So it's not like you really want to DJ, but you have to DJ.
There's no other way about it.
Yeah, and also vice versa. Nowadays, when you are a DJ, you need to be a producer, or you need to make music. You know what I mean? Like, you need to make your own music and put it out there.
So now, when do you decide that music in general is just something you want to do?
Personally, me, when did I decide?
Yeah.
Okay, for me, it started a very long time ago, man. I was still very young. You know, I actually wanted to start like a band, singing and all that stuff. But unfortunately, I couldn't sing. So I ended up sticking, or actually, there's a song that I was listening to. I was driving around with my mother and I was listening to the song, and that song, dog, like it, for me, after that, I knew that I wanted to make the music. You know, I wanted to create those things, because music is emotion, you know, and if you put out music and it doesn't evoke any emotion, then your job as a producer, you know, you've kind of failed it. So after I heard that song, I think I knew at that moment that now I really want to create these moments and memories, you know, for people and stuff like that.
I mean, for someone who's done so much, I mean, let alone pioneering Pretoria sound and just the unique sound of house in that era. I mean, when House Africa was huge, yourself, 40, you know, and all the gents who were pushing. What are some of the music you were listening to come through with that sound?
I was listening to a lot of old school music, you know. There's a group called Blue Six that I used to listen to. So, hey, bro, like I used to listen to that music too much stuff. So I think a part of their soulness in house music probably carried on with me. You know what I mean? But obviously, because of the genre that I came on or started back then, whatever, broken beats, we had to take beats from. It was different at that time, and I remember, album Java. There was a lot of and because music always it always changes. Not changes. What's the word that I'm looking for? Like music doesn't stay constant. It constantly evolves, right? So you take something from a genre. For instance, I took the drums from Makadi. But I lost everything else, you know what I mean? And I kept, and I came through with the musical side or the musicality, or I don't know how to put it, but I added a lot of piano, a lot of soul to. We had the Bacardi drums, as it were, at that time. It created something else, you know what I mean? It created something else.
How important do you think that is? Because I mean, with most of the producers that I've spoken to, one of they're on some now, man. Stick to your sound. Stick to your sound. You know, come up with your own thing. Was that something also you felt like you needed to do and to just pick out and then come through with a whole new sound?
And you know, that's something interesting because I hear a lot of people every now and then saying, yo, I discovered this.
Yeah.
There is no one that has discovered anything, dog. You know what I mean? Like, there is no one person that can say, I discovered this. Because even the people that started or that came about with the first house music, I'm talking about like Frankie Knuckles and them, they also took the sound from something else. They took it from disco. You know, they took the disco sound and put it a 4-bar beat, and it sounded like something else. But honestly, we borrow music, and music is taken from other music, dog. You know, I cannot say I started anything because I took it from somewhere else and I changed it, and it became something else. So, hey, it's a very difficult one to now hear people saying, hey, this one discovered this one discovered that. It's really crazy.
We can say you made it popular then. At least take that one. At least take that. No doubt. The one I'll take that one. So you take us back now a bit. This is, 5-6 years ago, and I mean, you're sitting on this sound, where do you now think, okay, I'm going to take this sound here? How did you now grow it and become a household name?
At that time, I will tell you, there was the street or music, Yamotra thing, it was very popular. And honestly speaking, broken beats at the time was something new, but everybody was on it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody was on it. And it was fortunate enough that at that time, there was a lot of broken beats with instrumentals without vocals. Just like how in the beginning, there was a lot of Amapiano without vocals. So now, that's when I started working with Lady Zamar, and the sound, the broken beats with the vocals was something totally different. And I think that's how a lot of people fell in love with it, because it was a different element, at that time. It was just crazy that someone could actually sing on these type of beats. Yeah. Because it's not easy. I mean, like, if you listen to broken beats, dog, it's not even easy as a DJ to mix them.
To mix it, sure. Because it's not something that constant, like 4 straight.
No, there's no, you can't count. You can't make it easy. But it was something new, and it was something exciting at that time. Yeah.
You're bringing up a topic I was very shy to discuss, yourself and Lady Zamar. Can you just let us know a little bit of your guys' relationship and I mean, how you ended up at a point where you guys were running the scene, because your vocals everywhere. Once I heard Zamar, I knew, okay, Taurus is hard behind the beat. Okay, we're going. Yeah. So how did you guys get together and decide that you're going to collab and make music together?
There's a friend of mine who actually went to UNISA at that time, and he was at a poetry session. That's where he actually met up with Lady Zamar at that time, right? And she was not even into music like that. She was a poet, you know what I mean? And because she went to school to study languages, she wanted to become a teacher, you know what I mean? And this guy heard her recite a poem, and he was like, look, there's a guy that I know who is a producer, right? Do you think that you guys could work on something? You know what I mean? And he came up to me and he's like, Jojo Salam, UNISA, blah, 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 blah. Do you think you can do one of those poetry house, deep house things? I'm like, yeah. I actually want to do something like that. On Saran. Yeah, so picked it up and we worked on it, and it was a dope track. It's a dope track. Remember back in the days, there's a track called The Parliament. I'm sure you can search for it on YouTube. It's called The Parliament. That was the track. It was dope. And after that, I had a song that I had written called Friday Morning or something like that. I really can't remember. And I'm like, yo, there is this song, because she had a dope voice, and sometimes a person can have a dope speaking voice and not have a dope recording voice. But she had she had a very, very dope recording voice. So I'm like, I have these words, and I gave her the melody and gave her the words, and she sang it, and it was actually dope. I was like, yo, you could actually sing. I think when she also got the confidence, and then, you know, she was like, yo, I could actually do this. So that's how it started, and we started making music back then. I mean, we were recording, yo, every weekend, dog. I think there was a point in time where we had like 50 songs, unreleased songs, just chilling there. There was a lot, bro.
Why did you drop?
Issues, dog. Label issues, contract issues. Oh, it's a big mess. But hopefully something will work out, you know, eventually.
I like that you're open with the whole label situation. What's your advice to a younger you, or like any other producer who's trying to navigate the game and is like getting excited with the prospect, getting into a deal and whatever? What is some of the advice you can give them before they get into a situation like that?
All right. Well, it's 2020, so I think it's becoming more easier for younger producers to actually get in the game, because right now you don't need anything. You just need social media and a great song, a different song, and everybody's just going to jump on. I mean, perfect example, look at what happened to Fibro Deep, right? He just came up with those whole sounds and effects, and everybody he fell in love with that thing.
It was like, who's this guy?
It was trending before we could even know who he was. And I guess in this day and age, that's all you need. You need to be really dope, and you need hype. You know, if you don't have to get in a situation and, you know, send your tracks to a major if you don't want to. But honestly speaking, for your music to chart or to end up on the radio monitoring charts and so on and so forth, or to even be on a lot of radio stations, you need someone behind you. You need
to plug the song.
Yeah, like you need somebody that does it. You know what I mean? And most of the time, it's very easy, man. Like I hear people become confused so much with the idea of releasing music and how am I going to do it. It's very simple. Every single major recording company has an A&R, somebody that works as an A&R, and those people, they are constantly looking for music.
That's their job.
That's their job. So all you need to do is just find out who the A&R is at whatever recording company that you're looking at, and send them music, though. And they have like a sit in every single fortnight, like, and they'll sit in and they'll listen to every single music that came. And if your music is really dope, they'll pick it up. You know, they'll pick it up and they'll release. It's very simple. Like it's very, very simple to do it nowadays. But of course, a lot of people don't have the knowledge. You know, like a lot of people don't have the knowledge. They don't know where to start. I mean, you have a dope song and you don't even know how to get it out there. But trust me, if you can just send it to an A&R guy, he will definitely give you the feedback and tell you, listen, this song, the team didn't feel it, or actually it did well. And then you start discussing licensing and local and how they're going to release the song.
Let's take it back 2 or 3 steps. I mean, this platform is designed, to inform, educate, and like highlight producers like yourself who have been in the game. So people who don't know what an A&R is, I mean, what are some of the quick things that they need to know? Like stuff like that, an A&R, like what else can you advise in terms of like rolling out the song, promo, getting the right people to hear the song?
Yeah, basically A&R just means artist and repertoire. Like their job in a nutshell is to look for talent. And once they have the talent, and then they work around how to package that song out with other departments that will help them, like PR and so on and so forth. So it's, for me personally, in the beginning, I like myself, I did not know that there was a person called A&R. I didn't know what the hell they did. But you need to do some research if you are going to be in the industry, especially if you want to be in the industry for a long haul. You need to know how certain things work. You know what I mean? And you need to know that, for instance, before you release a song, you need to have an agreement to know how much royalties you're going to get back as a, you know, from the song, or how much publishing is going to be paid out, how much artists, because there's so many different types of royalties. People, when you talk about royalties, everybody's thinking some role. No, bro, they are like,
there's so many other things.
There's so many, yeah, it's actually crazy. And there's a different type of royalties that I discovered not so long ago, a couple of years ago, and it's called producer royalties, right? So what happens with these is that every single, let's say for instance, you are a producer and you work with my song. The label, I need to notify the label before the release, and the label will give you a percentage of the sale, which has nothing to do with the percentage that I'm getting as from mechanical or from sales. Because the money that I get from sales, I have to divide amongst the artists. But you as a producer, you have your own producer royalties that you have to get into an agreement with the recording company, and it's usually between 2 and 6%. But that's 2 and 6% of however much the record makes.
So yeah. I mean, 2% of a platinum record is not a bad check.
Bro, it's crazy. And a lot of people don't even know about this. People don't even know. They don't know that you are entitled to those type of royalties, and people get into it and they think, okay, look, I sold the beat for 8K, so okay, I got my money, and I'll just wait for the royalties from somewhere. And people need to normalize talking about these things before you even release the music. You know, I had a chat with some other guy that I used to work with recently, and he's talking about he wants to own a master, or he wants to own half of a song that we released a long time ago. We released that song a long time ago, and I'm like, yo, but why didn't we have this?
Don't tell me that. Yeah,
it's too late now, because I have already agreed to an agreement with whatever company, and they have leased the song out. So for the next couple of years, they have the rights to the song.
I can't do anything at this point.
There's nothing I can do. And musical business is very key, and it's all well to have a hot song out there, you know, but you need to know how you're gonna generate that money. And especially with times like these, like, bro, that money will come in and it will actually go an extra mile, because nobody has been working for
on a booking, on July,
100 days. You understand? Like 200 days of not working. So if you don't have your musical stuff sorted or lined out, it can be very, very tricky.
You know, for someone like you to mention both Vigro and them, I mean, you're very aware of the people around you, either in just PTA or just the people around you in the music scene. And someone else you have a very great relationship with, DJ Sumbody. Can you just talk to us a little bit about that? Because you guys seem quite close. Yeah,
I have produced every single song that DJ Sumbody has released. Okay, let me say singles. Every single single that he has released ever since. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I've known him for a very long time ago, man. I think I met him like 8-9 years ago. You know, yeah, he was still a presenter at 20 FM. Back in the day, dog.
Way back. Coming with Files. I didn't even know he presented anything.
yeah. Like, that's where the name come from and all of that. So, he actually wanted me to produce a song back in the days, and I actually did, but he never released the song. I don't know why. And the song had Lady Zamar also on the song. Very long time ago, dog. So, he never released the song, and look, we were just touching base back then, which is on and off, whatever. But he then came back. He's like, he's looking for a beat for, he has an idea, Ayepyep. He kept on saying to me. So I produced that beat. I gave Tira the tape, recorded on it. And I guess that's how we officially started working full time after Ayepyep. because after Ayepyep came Ngwana Daddy and Ngwana Daddy and so on, and the tracks that are coming out now. So I've released every single one of his major songs up until today.
You produced it.
Yeah.
That's why he's so quiet. It makes sense now. It makes sense. I was wondering, this guy can just keep quiet in jail. Go to somewhere. Now we know.
My dog. You know, like, what's the problem with music? And I hear what you're saying, and a lot of people will also ask, like, hey Joe, you haven't dropped anything.
Yeah, what's going on?
Why haven't you released it? People think that it's just easy. Like, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy. Because when you are at a point where I am, and then when you go to release something that has a long shelf life, you can't just put out data file host link.
Don't do that.
No, you can't do that, dog. you cannot do that. So you need to send the song. Your song has to be in art, and they'll tell you, hey, my nigga, no, this song is too slow. It's not gonna work. The team does not feel it. I mean, it happens to every single one of us. You know what I mean? So that's when you stop. You don't push the whole idea of releasing. You're like, okay, wait, let me work on something else. I mean, you'll be working on something else the whole year, right? Yo, you know? Someone is saying, Ezra, Mohoti, Odyssey, royalties. I don't understand. What is he saying?
Are they not coming in? You have a project or a song along the lines of the name of Odyssey Mus?
Yeah. I featured them on Mamelodi though.
Yeah, so he's saying this Odyssey song, then we nice.
Yeah, hey, Mamelodi. Yeah, no, Mamelodi is still it's still generating money even now. So
how was the transition now from being on the stages everywhere to just like now that you're saying that you're just producing in the back and you guys are just pushing from there? Because I mean, you telling me now that you've been producing those songs, I had no idea. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there are a lot of people right now who are just finding out for the first time. How was that transition now going from in front of the stage to, you know, handling your studio stuff and then not being in the forefront as much?
But that's the thing. I've always been a producer, you know, of music. There's so many songs that I've written that you don't, that I've worked on that you will probably not even know. You know what I mean? So I've always done it. It's like it's nothing to me, man. It's nothing new to me. So that's why it's so easy for me to keep on doing it and to keep on just making music for other people and getting them where they need to be with their career. You know, everything happens for a reason, man. And with this industry, you need to be very patient. You know, you need to be very patient, and you have to have the ability to learn, because a lot of people just want things now, and you want it so badly now, and it must happen now, and then you fall out, and then you go through, you know, a whole depressive scene where you're just going crazy, like, yo, I don't know what happened. I mean, it happens to every single person, you know? So it's always best for me, I've discovered, to always just be there, like, just bubble under. You don't have to be like everybody.
Number one, just be inside.
Just be there, you know, just bubble under up until there's an opening or a chance for you to get back to do what you want to do.
You speak a lot about you saying there are a lot of people whose songs you've worked with now, and like people whose stuff you've produced. Who are some of the people that you haven't had a chance to work with yet, that you want to work with?
In South Africa or anywhere else?
Say the world, anywhere.
Yeah, man, I really want to work with Blue Six, but I don't think that will ever happen, because I was speaking to the main guy called Jay Deans, who's like, he doesn't even do music anymore. It's so bad. You know, he's doing photography now. You know, so yeah, that's really sad. Second, it will have to be Monique Birmingham. Yeah, that's just it. And also, I really want to work with other vocalists, man. I think there's so many people that are really talented on top that I have not had a chance to work with. People like CEO. He's really good.
That's too much.
she's ridiculous, though.
Yeah.
And who's this? She's a dope vocalist. What's her name again? Prince KB featured her on that Petrol Live.
Psyche.
Yeah.
I actually know it from Psyche, well, I was thinking about it, but I didn't want to.
She's ridiculous, yeah, but she doesn't want to. She had said that she doesn't want to do my piano or anything like that. So it'll have to be something different, you know. But yeah, she's really dope.
I like that point that you're ending on, because you have a question here that says, is broken beat another element of piano? Because there's this debate of where this sound comes from, and I hosted Jazzy Disciples about a couple of episodes back. They were like, no, it's a Joburg sound, this one, what. So I'm like, there's similarities, but no one can really like be like, yo, this is our sound exclusive. Like you're saying, no one really discovers it, they just adapt it.
Yeah, people are just adapting the sound. You know, like what's really funny about all these other producers that keep on saying, no, it's our thing, different thing, and what. What were they doing before my piano? Like for real, dog. I have a song which I heard a long time ago. It was comes as a song. It was not my piano. It was Afrobeat. Like it was. Understand what I mean? So. For you to say that you discovered a sound, it literally means that you came up with it. You are not influenced by anything. And it's not possible, if you really think about it logically, it's not possible for you not to be influenced by anything if you're a producer. You get influenced by anything.
Anything.
You get influenced by someone saying something. It triggers everything. So there is no way that you can just sit and say, you know what, I'm going to make this bass line like this, and I'm going to use lock drum and
yeah. I mean, without having heard it somewhere in some form.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't make any sense at all. And most of the early Amapiano were actually a lot of old school kwaito bass lines. You know, it was just it sounded like it's something that you've heard before. So I personally feel like they took from broken beats, because so they took from it. Maybe they might have taken elements of the piano, because we were playing piano back then, dog. We have solos. I had songs with piano solos.
Yeah. So,
yeah, and breaks. I mean, honestly speaking, that Ngwana Daddy song had the longest break ever.
Definitely, bro. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it just stopped out of nowhere, dog. And how many of these Amapiano songs just all of a sudden stop?
Yeah, sure.
So obviously, I mean, bro, you take and you just adapt and you create, you try and make something different, but you can't say you started nothing.
I see you coming with the Grootman energy, telling them now, boys. I've been doing this break thing since way back. Don't get excited now.
Hey, man, I've been doing those breaks for a long time. And broken beats, it's all about those things. It's all about like quiet moments, and you know, all of a sudden, that's how it is. And you can hear, I can hear it in a lot of songs nowadays, you know. But what I am glad for is I'm happy about where Amapiano is sort of going now. It's really dope. It's really dope to have. It's like it's coming full circle. It's like it's going back to the more soulful house.
Soulful, yeah.
Dope vocalists that are singing on their proper vocalists. And it's really dope, though.
I think, like you had mentioned very, very early on in the interview, when you said if people can't connect, you know, I know that emotional element of it. I mean, your music is gonna struggle to like get out there because people can't attach. Yeah, you can't. I would like to tell a lot of people, a lot of producers, you should always stay away from dropping songs from hype. Because those type of songs don't really last. The shelf life is very short. Whereas you release something that has a lot more depth, you know. And look, a song with soul and stuff like that does not necessarily mean that the song has to be boring. It doesn't mean that the song has to be deep and whatnot. But no, try and put proper vocals on a song, you know, and try to write a song that people could have memory to.
because without memories, a song can never really pop. You know, it's not necessarily the song that makes people scream at a groove. You know, no, it's not actually the song that makes them scream. It's actually like the memory or things that they at that moment. You know what I mean? Like it triggers you, like, oh, I can't. It triggers like a memory that you had, and you like, that's why that's the only thing that makes you scream. It's not the song itself. You know,
it's what you feel like and what you think about listening to the song.
Yeah, that's why people will say, "Yo, that's my song," because they all have memories to it. They can attach something that happened. So you need to constantly try as a producer to make music that people can have memories to. You know?
Recently, you dropped a single with Kalo, Settle Down, that got so much love across everywhere. It was just like, okay, finally, Taurus is back, Junior Taurus is here, as Junior Taurus, not ghost producer, just him, you know? So, other than this single, what else are you working on that we can be on the lookout for? Because, I mean, just the single alone should have shown you that people are hungry for your music.
Yeah, we also dropped together with Kalo, Happy For You.
Happy For You as well, yeah.
So, but the next single that's coming out is a song featuring Vocalistic.
Hey.
Yeah.
Marathon.
Yeah, it's called Welele. It's too much. It's a fire song. So I'm just worried about dropping it now, but it has to come out now. Because you know how record companies work on momentum. So they'll be like, we released this song, you got so much momentum, we released this one, it got so much momentum. So you have to release. You can't just sit back and say, no, let's wait until COVID. Yeah. So, and the only issue that I have about releasing Ngwana during lockdown and is people cannot create memories, bro. People listen to your song at home.
At home.
Okay. So it's very rare for the song to actually pop like that. But I think I am gonna drop it probably next month.
You see, now you're coming with exclusive. Now we're moving.
Yeah.
Exclusive copy, promote. So what's or like what are the few things that you know now that you wished you knew then? So like something you would say to a younger you or advise younger producers who are trying to just get in the game?
I think I said it before. I think it's very important to actually come out with your own. Don't try and release a song that sounds like somebody else. So for instance, there's some other young boy that wanted me to listen to his songs, and they were actually dope, right? But when I listened to them, they sounded like it just sounded like any other Amapiano song. There's nothing different about it. So what I had told them is like, it's like, just imagine where you would want the sound to go. Like in the perfect world, right? Where would you want to take Amapiano eventually? Because Amapiano cannot be Amapiano until the end. It needs to go somewhere. It needs to change. So I had asked him, I'm like, yo, where do you think it's going to go? And he's like, hey, maybe it might go electro. I'm like,
go there. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So don't try to, I know it's very tempting, especially when you are a young producer and you're listening to other people's music. You will end up making music similar to what you're listening to. So always try by all means to think about the future of a certain sound that you're trying to break in. You know, so if you want to be an Amapiano producer, it's dope, but think about, you know, where else you can take, add other elements, you know, be that change that it needs, because bro, we can't be listening to the same thing.
The same,
You know?
Now this was a powerful session, bro. I feel like I've picked your brain enough. You've given us too much free information. Before I let you go, we're doing this thing where we ask the producers who we host to give us drum kits. So whenever you get a chance, please put together a couple of your favorite drums to make a Junior Taurus drum kit. And then when we drop your interview, we'll drop that as well. Give the kids some nice sounds. Maybe they can make a Monatimpo live of their own.
Hey, now I must give away my secrets here, man.
It's not secret. It's a group of sounds.
I'll give them, yeah. I'll give them the old ones that I used to use.
I know, way, man. Thank you so much for your time, bro.
No doubt.
Easy.
No way.